These people, you and your teams, large and small, are the workforce behind the Defence Force. Ministers and members of Parliament, both federal and state, to my 48 Defence colleagues here in uniform tonight, and last but definitely not least, especially to all of those representing the WA defence industry. A final welcome to one and all before we shift gears from the formality of dinner and remarks to song, music and dance, perhaps for some. Firstly, let me add to the remarks of our previous speakers and thank and congratulate the committees and to the other event participants and also to our hosts and sponsors for organising such a fabulous gala evening tonight. And congratulations too to our award winners this evening, to Jack and Greg and Fran Marine. On a personal note, I'd also like to acknowledge two of my closest colleagues. As Greg's already mentioned, firstly to Brigadier Brett Challoner, who partners me in defence industry engagement with a special focus on Army Reserve workforce and employment, and also to one of my former shipmates, to Mr. Toff Idris, Defence West Executive Director, who is also a key stakeholder for ADF engagement with defence industry. In my role as a senior ADF officer, Western Australia, I'm delighted to offer some words of acknowledgement, appreciation and gratitude on behalf of Navy, Army, Air Force, our joint forces, the ADF and the wider Australian Defence Organisation, both uniformed and civilian. As a long-time resident of WA, on and off, but more on than off since 1998, I've served in 4 Fleet-based West ships and enjoyed 2 shore postings here in WA. Until this year, I thought this work had given me a good knowledge of the WA defence industry. However, through my exposure as Senior Officer WA, I am now only just starting to understand the scope, the scale and the extent of the industry work that goes on here to support our defence enterprise. This work supports defence outputs and activities here in WA, but also interstate and beyond into the Indo-Asia Pacific region. Everybody here tonight understands well the evolving and increasing challenges of Australia's strategic circumstance and situation. These security challenges will almost certainly continue to increasingly confront the ADF, the wider defence community, and with it, you, industry. In terms of our national footprint and our regional geographical proximity, WA has a special, if not unique, part to play. WA presents 36% of Australia's coastline and a great deal of our national wealth in terms of the state's oil and gas reserves, iron ore, minerals, rare earths, extensive fisheries, cattle, wheat, and agriculture. These are all vital for our security, our prosperity, and our national well-being. In terms of the ADF, as well as a significant part of Navy's fleet, comprising 6 major fleet units and all of our 6 Collins-class submarines, this represents more than 50% of the fleet's major platforms, and all of these are based here at the Navy's largest base at Fleet Base West. 13 Brigade operates from Irwin Barracks. The entirety of the SES is based at Swanbourne, and in terms of the Air Force, we have important strategic airlift and movement facilities through and from Pearce, Curtin and Learmonth. We also have a range of other important joint logistic and other military facilities and footprints across the state. These are serviced by nearly 6,000 defence personnel. All of this highlights WA's military importance, its significance, and the many opportunities presented for our enterprise and you, industry. Underpinning these impressive ADF capabilities is our reliance on defence industry in terms of investment, human capital, workforce expertise, especially in the fields of manufacturing, fabrication, supply chain logistics, communications, computing, and many other specialist fields such as remote and autonomous technologies, innovation, specialist commercial techniques, equipment, facilities, transport and infrastructure. The list goes on. The WA defence industry, representing the expertise, experience and skills to supply, support, service and sustain defence, comprises over 2,500 personnel employed by 250 businesses statewide. These people, you and your teams, large and small, are the workforce behind the Defence Force. Together, we, our sailors, soldiers, aviators, our defence civilians, and those from defence industry represent our broader defence community. Together, we should expect to see ourselves increasingly connected and aligned, supporting, cooperating, and collaborating together, ultimately forging towards a common aim and purpose. So, on this final note, on behalf of Defence, I acknowledge and thank the WA defence industry, all of you attending tonight, and also to your workmates and those who are unable to be with us to enjoy this splendid gala dinner. And for you here, I wish you a wonderful evening. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for supporting Defence.